All right, y'all. I've recently acquired some more totes, and I'll tell you a little bit about how I go about getting these totes. So far, I haven't paid anything for them, but I have traded out firewood for them, and so I wouldn't necessarily call them free, but so far so good, you know. I use them for more than just storing my wood. You can see there's quite a few drying over there, but I'll take them like this. There's one there, and then there's another one right there. And I'll put them close to a pile that I'm gonna cut up. And offcuts, pieces of wood I can't do much with. I just chunk them in there, and when the tote gets full, I'll take them to my burn pile and dump them. I don't end up tossing them around 2 or 3 times. It's just one and done, and they get out of my way. So it works out really good. There's another one right there by the barn that I do. So anyways, if y'all stick with me, I'll tell you a little bit about how I've gone about doing that in my area. I think that's one of those deals that's it's kind of unique to your situation in your area. But anyways, I'll tell you what works for me. And also, I've got a little issue going on with my Kioti tractor. And I'm wondering if any of y'all have run into this. And if you are, or if you have, I'm curious if you got any advice. Thank you for watching. Y'all stick with me. Well, I acquired 12 more totes today, and 6 of them was without the plastic bladder, so that was great. That's the way I like to get them. I had a guy message me, he's a farmer, and I don't know if I'd be interested in them. He had a forklift, he could load me up. It was only about 25 minutes drive from me, so I said, yeah, I hated to turn them down. I really wasn't in need of any. Here are the ones I have that are not storing wood that I haven't got into yet, but man, it's just hard to turn them down like that. So here we go. That should put me at 100, I believe. I haven't counted the ones that are storing my wood right now, but it's got to put me right at 100, I think, and possibly just a little over. Pretty fortunate to get them, or blessed would be more accurate. So I counted up, and I got 115 totes right here on my place, which is more than I actually realized that I had. Now, I do have more at other places, like customers' places, and I charge a deposit for that, and if they return it, they get their money back. Not to get sidetracked, but I was trying to carry 3 totes in one trip here, and top of them got a little shaky on me, so I only did that one time. It kind of slowed me down, but back to the totes. Yeah, and that deposit thing has worked out well. I don't even know if I've ever returned anybody's money because they always just want to refill their wood. So kind of an incentive to keep buying from me. Works out good. As far as how I was going about getting totes in my area, in the beginning it was a little harder. I would get 1 and 2 totes here and there, and they were in rough places and they were in rough shape. But I got better at it, you know, and you can find them all over Marketplace. Everybody knows that, but they're not cheap for what you're getting. So I started asking around, and the best places around me were, of course, places that used lots of them. And I found a place that uses them as a hemp factory. They'll use them. And then agricultural. Any of these agricultural places use a lot of these chemicals for farming. Now, they're going to have some nasty chemicals in them, and they get on you. They'll burn you, you know. So just beware. But that's what I meant by that's a pain to dispose of the plastic sometimes. Also, I'll save some of that herbicide and use it for Roundup too. Just kind of mix them, and it works great. But anyways, I started asking around, and I found some pretty good sources. The agricultural places were the best. One guy, I went to school with him, and he'll take his trailer to work, and he'll bring it back with totes and drop it off at my place sometimes, and I'll return his trailer. There's another guy that he has brought me roughly 40, and he just needs to get rid of them. They're in his way, and he will have his guys on a slow day come out here and deliver them to my place. So that's, you know, awesome. That doesn't always happen, but it happens sometimes. And then other times, like the video I showed you before, I'll load up a trailer and just go get them myself, you know. But that has worked out great. And a couple of these guys at these agricultural places, they still offer to pay me for wood, which I wouldn't take any money from them because they're helping me more than I'm helping them, you know. So I'm glad to swap out firewood and all that. But if y'all can, I don't know how it is in your area, but if you can work out something like that, that would be great, for both parties in a way, because some of these guys are just looking to get rid of them. So anyways, there's some information that works for me. I don't know if it'll work for you, but there it is. And I hope this video was helpful, and I sure appreciate y'all watching. Please subscribe and like. All right, I got something to show y'all and ask y'all. I've got mice trouble down here in my barn, and I mean that's normal, I'm sure. But they're doing something that concerns me, and it really kind of scares me, honestly, about doing some damage. I've been using this Grandpa Gus's for probably 6 or 8 months, and I squirt it religiously. I squirt it on my tractor, and every time I get off my tractor, I pop the hood and raise it. I've heard that helps keep mice from bedding down, and it also gives me helps me look under the hood, because I'll look under there before I close it. Well, this is the 3rd time that this little issue has happened. I'm fixing to show you, and man, I'd like to know a remedy for it. So about a month ago, I started putting this poison stuff out, and they've been eating it up quite a bit. And I've also put Irish Spring soap. I put it under the seat of my tractor. I mean, when you walk into my barn, you can smell that soap. I put it in my dump trailer. I put it in several places. And like you can just smell it. I cut it in half too to kind of freshen it up. Here, I'm sorry to move you around, but you can see that bar of soap right in there. That one's not cut in half, but I do have another one up under the seat. And I just want to show y'all, this is the 3rd time that that's happened. And, I know this may sound stupid. It may be mice, and I almost wonder if it's birds. I'm almost embarrassed to say that, but, it is leaves and things like that, like birds carry. I don't really see birds in here all the time, but of course it's happening when I'm not in here. And I haven't run my tractor in right at a week, which is pretty unusual. But anyways, if any of y'all got any advice, I'd be interested to know a remedy for this. Or if any of y'all other tractor owners have had issues with this and what you've done to deal with it. You see where it's at. I mean, it's not a good spot. Right on top of the wires and real close to that exhaust. Thank you in advance for any help you might give. Thanks for watching. I failed to mention that I called the guys I bought the tractor from. One of them is the manager of the dealership, and the other one is the technician. And we got to be buddies with both of them, and super nice fellas. But the guy that works on them says that he has had, I think he said 3 or 4 tractors burned down. And before I even told him the location where this little nest is being built, he knew. He described it to a T. So he already knew. He said this was a common occurrence. And I asked him if he knew of any remedy, and he said, no, pretty much what I'm doing. But I'm wondering if maybe I should start closing the hood if it's birds. I just cleaned it out, and it didn't really seem like it's a mice nest, like usually you can smell them. So I'm wondering if it's birds, and I'm wondering if me closing it, I need to make sure I get in the habit of checking it every time before I crank this thing up and get it going. Anyways, I appreciate any advice. Like I said, thank you in advance for any helpful comments, and thank y'all for watching.